Oh, squawk, squawk, fellow sorrowers. Right. Oh, this is going to be a laugh and a half, I tell ya. Okie dokie. Ready for this?
A big medical breakthrough in the fight against coronavirus has identified a drug that could have saved thousands of lives had it been used from an early stage of the pandemic.
Will you see straight away? So, this hexametrazone is 3.3 milligrams. Of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it would be. Why would you even question that? Right? 5 for your death. You drop the zeros, right? Add your 2, you got your 7. Cycle. Add another 2, you got your 9 for the paedophile code and the feminine dragon. Okay?
The research led by a team of scientists at Oxford
Yes, he's under the false light once again.
University shows that dexamethasone, a familiar steroid that's been in use for 60 years, can be remarkably effective. Findings are based on trials involving some 6,000 patients across the UK. Drug cuts the risk of death.
I'm wondering how many of you have also noticed the colouring on the box of the dexamethasone. Yeah, that's right. Pink and yellow, or pink and saffron. Same shit, different toilet. Sex, violence. Both create certain energy, negative energy, powerful energy that they can use and abuse you with.
By a third for patients on ventilators.
By a third for Saturn.
And by a fifth for those.
And by 5 for death. Again, pure paedophile code 3 and 5, 35 or 53. It's just what it is. They don't have to say 3 and 5. They could have said 2 and 4. You know? 4 and 6. Then I couldn't have said a word about it, could I?
Drug cuts the risk of death by a third for patients on ventilators.
A
And by a
third?
fifth for
By a
those
fifth.
requiring oxygen.
Paedophile code. Carry on. Sex and violence.
Our medical correspondent Fergus Walsh has the story.
For those laid low by COVID-19, for the very sickest hospital patients, at last, a drug that can tip the odds in their favour.
At last. It will tip the odds in their favour. Here's your tear. With your attack on the heart here. You see it? And then there's me. Squawk, squawk.
6,000 NHS COVID patients were part of the trial, and the results
Yeah, I did see the black and white duality blanket also.
were so overwhelming.
Pink and yellow. In almost every shot. They're getting desperate. They need to stabilise the bicycle that they've put in place, the cycle that they've put in place, because it's getting wobbly, you know? We keep putting pins in their tyres and they don't fucking like it. Remove yourself. You're a spoke. Remove yourself. Whole thing falls apart.
Positive, they were rushed out days after the study was completed. It found that dexamethasone saves one life for every
1 and 8, 18. Okay? For your 666, it's also 9. Once again, paedophile code.
8 patients on a
You see, I say paedophile code, it's not paedophile to them, is it? To them, it's just life force energy. It's looch energy. It's low vibration. That's all. And it's the lowest form of vibration you're going to get. The most negative, darkest, deepest, depthful energy is going to be that of innocence, right? Which would be children. So that's all it is. To them, it's not paedophile code. But to us, it is. Isn't it? Bad guys don't think they're bad. Well, they wouldn't do what they do.
ventilator. One life saved for every 25 patients on oxygen. It had been used from the outset of the pandemic.
Yeah, so 8 for your Ouroboros, and then they give you 9 once again. And of course, 9 and 9 is what? Your 666 once again.
It's thought it could have saved 4,000 to 5,000 lives in the UK. Catherine Milbank
We'll leave it for a minute. We'll give them a chance.
from Buckinghamshire spent 12 days on a ventilator with
12. Saturn, 3.
COVID-19. She received dexamethasone after her husband Paul gave consent over the phone for her to take part in the trial.
When someone tells you that your wife's
Yeah.
right hanging on the edge of something that could go either way, and you know
Tear.
that there's current proven drugs that are already in the medical industry already that are prescribed to people. When you know that they are around and there's a chance that might help, you grab it. Without.
Okay, you're about to see one of the best, or should I say worst, depends on your point of view, I suppose, crisis actors that I have ever laid my third eye upon. With your pink and yellow, of course, always in the background.
Trying these things. We're not the researchers. Us. No one's going to get anywhere finding out the right drug
You're forgetting your tears, love.
to help the pandemic that's happening and still going on. As we're coming through it, but I'm just eternally grateful and will be for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's dissect a bit. Covered this a minute ago, right? Okay. We covered these, didn't we? Okay. See, she did that same thing that Truth Dog actually found. I didn't find this. His eyes caught their eyes when one closes before the other. Now, I could be wrong. I used to think, it's a problem I was thinking, that it was a reptilian thing, which it still may be. But I reckon it's a tear thing. I've seen it more with tears. This.
Researchers, us. No one's going to get anywhere finding out the right drugs to help the pandemic that's happening and still going on.
Ready?
As we're coming through it, but I'm just eternally grateful and will be
Boom.
for the rest of my life. As we're coming through it, but I'm just eternally grateful and will be for the rest of my life.
So, Bill seems to believe that this is the Archons channeling to the Canaanites and to the reptilians what to do, what to say, if they forget the script, basically, which makes a lot of sense. They all do it, and it's a trance-like state. If you look at their eyes, they glisten, they glossify, they glaze over when they do this. But it's the same shit, different toilet. One closes, the other one stays shut, and of course, no tears. Tears, but no tears. Might be spelt the same, but it ain't the same, is it?
We're coming the right drug.
When she says the word eternal.
Help the pandemic that's happening and still going on. As we're coming through it, but I'm just eternally grateful and will be for the rest of my life.
Dexamethasone
You don't have a life, honey. There's no life in you.
has been around for decades.
Otherwise, you would not be doing this shit to us, would you?
Steroid.
You have to understand, right? It's not just they're doing it to you and me. They're doing it to the children because the children are what matters, right? If they're doing it to us, hypnotizing us, brainwashing us, and we're in responsibility to the children, to the next generation, how can we stop them getting generated by these pieces of shit? We can't, can we? So that's how you need to see this. People are way too light with it. They just go, oh, well, it's just satanic shit and, it helps them if they keep us as sheep. Well, that's all true. But it's so much blacker than that. They want to turn you into these things, okay? They want you to be trapped in this thing. You see it? You're 33. You're 66. You're 99. You're lickety split. It's the vortex. You're saffron and you're pink. For what pulls the wool over our eyes so they can get to the children and inject them in more ways than one. I'm sorry, you got to hear it.
Widely used for arthritis, asthma, and other conditions. This is
Again, you've got to understand this. They didn't have to make it pink and saffron. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that. How many colours are on the spectrum? They chose that for a reason. You understand?
genuine breakthrough in the treatment of COVID-19.
This guy tries way too hard, as you're about to see in a moment.
Dexamethasone, either in tablet or injectable form, is available in every hospital pharmacy. The treatment costs around £5 on the NHS and will be even cheaper in developing countries.
Yeah, just overreaction. You know, always gives them away.
Even cheaper in developing countries. So this drug has the potential to save lives across the world.
We've been on a huge search for treatments that actually will improve survival for patients.
Yeah, improve their survival, not yours.
Well, the latest figures from the Department of Health show that in the past 24-hour period, 233 more deaths linked to coronavirus were.
So the reverse of 322 then. Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. If you include the 2 and 4 down here for your 666 once again, and your 9 for your paedophile code.
Recorded, and that brings the total to just under 42,000 across the UK.
Okay, so you got your 5 for death, which is 1 4. Comma it out. And what you got here? You got your 9, which you reverse. Law of reversals. Yeah, 666 once again. So boring, isn't it? Like having such an inferior nemesis, as it were, if you will.
And that includes hospitals and care homes and the wider community. The graph of COVID-19 deaths
The graph of
shows that downward trend, with the current 7.
Trend. It is a trend. I can't breathe. It's a trend, right? It's all trends. You're absolutely right. 11, duality. 7, cycle. 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 when you put your 7 in again for your 666. Once again.
Day average at 155. So let's talk to our medical correspondent, Fergus. What we saw there on the.
You see, I have a stutter. I'm allowed to do that, okay? But you stutter when you're anxious. Doesn't mean you're lying. It's when you're anxious. What on earth they got to be anxious about? Unless they were fucking lying. Because nothing else that would make them anxious, right? What, being on telly? You're doing it long enough. See the spiral stairs? It's the DNA strand, the third one that makes up these things. The Canaanites, the Tears, the 88s, the Men of Lawlessness.
This new treatment.
Here's your Black Mirror, your scrying screen.
Well, I say new treatment, familiar drug.
Right, listen to him slip up here.
Saw there on the this new treatment. Well, I say new treatment. It's a familiar drug, folks, isn't it?
Well, it's new treatment. Well, I say new treatment. It's an old drug, right? See what they've done there?
Just the this new treatment. Well, I say new treatment. It's a familiar drug, folks.
So he's like, that's it. You're back on track now. That's it. Remember your script,
isn't it? I'm just wondering, given how familiar doctors are with it, what is its potential now?
So what they've basically done there and slipped up and told you is that it's based on an old drug. It's under the guise of an old drug because yeah, dexamethasone has been around for a long time, but it's obviously got added ingredients. They've made that perfectly clear without knowing how clear they've made it.
I think this is really significant, Hugh, and really what.
It's just too much. It's always over the top with him. This one, like really, really amazing. Wow, he even says wow in a minute.
Wonderful news.
It's not very professional, you know.
This drug cuts the risk of death in sickest patients on ventilators by a third. That's massive. Now it needed a huge.
Of course, it'd be a third. Of course, it'd be massive. He says massive, and then he does the anus thing they do with their fingers. Disgusting. They all do it. You ready?
Huge trial. 6,000 coronavirus hospital.
Yeah. So your 3 and your 6, 666 once again.
Patients for those benefits to emerge, and that all happened here in the UK.
See it? That thing. It's disgusting. That's what it is.
75 hospitals were involved.
See, by making these signs, they're interlinking with carbon 12. It's like a lesser magic. So by holding these particular signs up, they're gaining the ritualistic energy of every other person, you can call them people, that have ever done that ritual. It's a surge through vibration. Do you understand? So that's why they do it. They hold it up and stuff. So the anus trait thing, well, you can imagine how many of the sodomites would have done that. So it empowers what they're saying, which comes through, and hopefully, if you ain't got an activated pineal gland, it will affect you. See? All about energy. All of it.
It's one of the
Yeah, black and white tie, Saturnian attire.
strengths of having a cohesive national health service. It's frankly a bit of a surprise that the first drug proven to save lives with COVID-19 is not some shiny, high-tech experimental treatment that would cost thousands and only be available in rich countries. It's an old, cheap as chips steroid.
Cheap as chips. C and C. 1, 2, 3. ABC. 33.
That's used all over the world. Some caveats: it doesn't stop people getting coronavirus. It doesn't help early on in the disease. It's only for the sicker patients. Wow, for them.
Yes, I always get a little back glimpse, photographic memory. Yeah, the 5 with the comma and then the 969. Obviously, you reverse the 2 9s and you've got 5 and the 666. It's also 666 makes 18 plus 5, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 2 3's 33. I'm going to listen to this weasel once more. I want you to listen to him too when he says, wow. Because they never say wow. So they're pushing it. It's in the body language and the vocal tone. Ready? Set. Go.
On in the disease. It's only for the sicker patients. But wow, for them it is progress.
Oh, but
And from
wow,
now
for
on,
them, like they give a shit about anyone but themselves. Why would they say wow to you? They might say wow about themselves. That's how you know that he's talking absolute Canaanite dog shit.
every hospital patient with coronavirus on oxygen or on a ventilator will be offered dexamethasone. Them and their families.
They will not be offered it. They will be told, which means to be made, to take it. Because if they don't, they can't be screened, they can't be traced. They will be registered as a threat. They can't get you one way, they'll get you the other, just like what hazmat piece of shit told me in my dream. Yeah, so in turn to this, I just realised something, and so did Joy. 2 separate things. First of all, hers is cooler than mine, more to the point. Whenever they, as I always tell you guys and girls, men and women, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, whenever the vocabulary reflects their lifestyle. So offer, said it 3 times, I believe, possibly twice. I'm pretty sure it's 3. They usually do things in 3s. Not only is it to turn in worship, but of course it goes into your subconscious better when it's in 3s. Okay. So yeah, offering. They will all be offered. They'll all be offered up. You will all be offered up. You are sacrifices, one way or another. You're going to take it one way or another. You're going to be a guinea pig one way or another. That's still a sacrifice. They don't have to kill you to send you to the same place where they're going. See what I'm saying? Yeah, Joy's got something to say. Go on, girl.
I said that if they're on oxygen or on a ventilator, they're not going to be in the right state of mind to even know what an offer is. They're going to be willing to take it.
Right, I don't know how good this microphone is. Usually not very good.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll just say it. It's right, go on. Yeah, so if they're on a ventilator
or an oxygen,
or an oxygen, obviously oxygen itself puts you in an altered state of mind, and they're saying, well, we'll give you the offer, so you're going to give a verbal contract, yeah, let alone a written one. These people aren't in the right states of minds whatsoever. This is what Joy's picked up on, and I didn't.
Yeah, they're going to accept anything that they get offered. They're going to accept anything they get offered, because if you're on a ventilator, you're on the last stage. You're on the last stage of your life, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
that's with sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let alone if they haven't got
some of them, they're unconscious when they're on a ventilator. So.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah. All right, hope that makes sense.
Trust me, that makes sense to the people listening, but it won't to the people who just hear it, unfortunately. Hear this and take it verbatim.